Good morning, here's today's outfit. Today I am wearing this striped sweater from Ann Taylor Loft. I bought this a while ago and actually forgot that I bought it. These pants, I'm not sure where these pants are from now that I think about it. They're either Ann Taylor Loft or Kohl's. I'm wearing these black flats that I wore yesterday, and this watch that I got from Nordstrom over the summer. I don't know, it's a Skagen watch, and I just bought it because it kind of looks like a grandfather's watch, which I thought was cute. So that is it. I'll talk to you guys later. Hey guys, it's 4 o'clock. I'm actually getting ready to go home just because I would rather work at home. I need to stop at the grocery store first to buy some bok choy for a Blue Apron meal, and then I have some grading to do and some like just stuff I need to get under control. But before I leave, I wanted to check in with you to let you know what book I read today. Today we studied Japan. I didn't have any picture books related to Christmas traditions in Japanese, or in Japan, I should say, sorry. But I did have one about the Italian culture, so I saw this again from another product, not the one I'm using. So this is called The Legend of Old, I think you pronounce it Befana, and this kind of explains some traditions in the Italian culture. The kids really liked that, and then we learned about Japan later on today. We didn't get to start the pages for the lap books because I prioritized the Trapped in a Snow Globe story for them. So I don't know if I showed you the graphic organizers that I'm using, but let me show you now. This student was absent. So the first thing that we did, I think yesterday I showed you the book that I read, and I showed you this anchor chart that we made just to get their ideas going. And then after that, I had them fill in this story map. So this is from Step Up to Writing. And this is just the paper that I used to help them make sure they had the story elements. So the who, what happens, the problem, the setting, and the solution. So once they had that completed, which most of them did by the end of yesterday, then today we focus on like mapping out their story in beginning, middle, and end. So just explaining to them that this box is where they're drawing just a quick sketch, quick sketch or an image of what's going to happen in the beginning. Then some quick notes. This is what's happening in the middle, and I explained to them this section is bigger because most of a story occurs in the middle. Same thing, aside a little section for notes here, and then this section is what's happening in the end with notes there. So there were a couple of kids that were able to get through that and actually started their rough drafts. I did let them know that at some point they will be peer editing each other. And I did show them the template. I think I put it away. The template that they're going to be writing their final draft on, so they could have some concept of how much space they have to write, so that they know that their stories really can't be that long. So that's what we did in terms of the whole holidays around the world and the Trapped in the Snow Globe activity. Aside from that, earlier today we did math review. They have a chapter 6 math test tomorrow. We use the same Kagan structure I always use, which is find someone who. That went really well because this chapter is kind of more straightforward than some of the ones we've had in the past. And aside from that, we did Fox Time, which is where I pull groups for guided reading. Oh, that group that I met last week, the P group, that was reading No Talking. Good news, they all came prepared today. They all had done their reading. They were much more involved in the discussion of what had happened. So I'm feeling much more confident. We've assigned them about, I think I assigned them about 30 pages to read between now and next Wednesday, and we're good to go. So I felt better about that. And so we did that, and that is pretty much it. Yeah, so nothing super exciting or super involved has happened since then. I didn't get the vlog edited yesterday because I had to go home, edit some videos that I had to get done for Teachers Connect, and there is a Secret Santa video that we're going to be sharing with everyone this coming weekend, so you guys keep an eye out for that. And I was up until about 10:30 doing that, and then I went to bed. I didn't even go to Orange Theory this morning because I went to bed too late, and I felt a little guilty about that. So that has been my day so far. The only thing I didn't get to that I wanted to is I did not get to pull small groups for Wonders. I'm not totally and completely stressed by that because I think I can make that time up somewhere either later on in this week or even next week if I need to. So I got my bags right there, purse, lunch, work bag. I'm gonna head to the grocery store to buy some bok choy and some creamer, go home and cook, and then just try and work the night away and get all caught up with my grades because weekly folders go home, and so I need to finish grading some quizzes. I need to grade their last Wonders assessment, and I need to get some grades, some more grades entered. So that's what's on my agenda. I may or may not check in with you guys, not sure, but we shall see what happens. So I will talk to you when I talk to you, I guess. So see you guys later. Good morning. Here's today's outfit. Today I wanted to be comfortable and warm, so I am wearing this sweatshirt that I got from Target a few weeks ago. It just says, I am a vital voice. I guess I was feeling political when I picked this up. And then I'm wearing a red tank top underneath, some blue jeans from Jessica Simpson, my white Chucks, a silver watch, and black frames. That is it. I'll talk to you guys later on. All right, so I was feeling a little extra sassy, so I decided to put on some red lip gloss. So we'll see how long this lasts. But it's 7:37. I got to be at work in about the next 8 minutes. Guys, I'm tired of being tired. This is what I really want to say. It is that time of year where I'm sure you all know, if you're in the classroom, where no matter how much sleep or rest you get, you just wake up just exhausted still, just because you need a break. You need some time off. You need some downtime, and that's where I'm at. I worked in the classroom all day yesterday, obviously. Came home, or went to the grocery store, came home, cooked, graded some math quizzes, edited some video, and by the time I got into bed, I just was exhausted, and I feel like I've been feeling that way for the past couple of weeks. And a couple days ago I was talking to Peggy, one of my teammates. This is her second year teaching, and she was just expressing the sentiment that there just is not enough time in the day, and she just feels so overworked and tired, and she's spending all of her time grading and not really having a good balance in life, and so on and so forth. And I said, well, unfortunately, Peggy, this is my 14th year teaching, and I find myself feeling that way quite often, just because that is the nature of teaching. So I am very much looking forward to winter break that is coming up in about a week, and I am certainly counting down the days to that moment, and I plan to just be on break and not do anything. So as far as today is concerned, my class is taking their chapter 6 math test, which is all division. I'm contemplating whether or not I'll have enough time to do Fox time, which is universal access, which is basically guided reading time for us, because I need to correct last night's homework, which was the rest of the review test, to make sure they don't have any questions. They need to have time to take the test, and we have PE today. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do there. And then after school today, we have a staff meeting, which is kind of being called a mini day-to-day. So we finished taking iReady last week, and I've looked at my results already. we'll just focus on reading because the person that is leading this meeting is our literacy coach, and her focus is just on literacy, obviously. So we'll just be more than likely just looking at the reading results. I'm pretty satisfied with how my class did, especially because my 3 kids that are in RSP, which means they are receiving special education services because they have some academic struggles, are on target for the amount of growth they should have made at this point in the year, and are they're all past the target that they needed to hit. So those of you that use iReady, my district forces us to look at the results at the end of year view as opposed to standard view, and the end of year view is always more traumatizing because it makes you feel like the kids are not learning what they need to be learning when they need to be learning it. But the rationale is they don't want us to look at the standard view to kind of lull ourselves into some sense of, you know, everything's working perfectly, I don't need to do anything more. And for those of you that don't do iReady, basically they take a reading test and a math test, and the system generates results and places them like at a grade level. So you want them to be at early 3rd. At this point, you want them to be in mid 3rd or late 3rd. If they don't perform at grade level, it'll give you the grade level equivalent they are performing at. And in 3rd grade, the goal is that every student makes 30 points worth of growth, I believe is what it is. And so the report that I looked at shows you the percentage of that 30-point worth of growth that they are making. And the goal is that every student is showing at least 50% of that goal because we're about halfway through the year. So I definitely have some kids that have hit that and exceeded that and have made 100% of their growth. And then there's some kids who have not made that 50% mark. So I'm assuming today's meeting will be looking at that and what we need to be doing to address that. But because of my results, there has been, or it was suggested to me that the scheduling that I arranged earlier in the year with my aide that comes in during guided reading time be altered, because I was basically having her meet with my lowest group every day, and that did not please everybody. Some people wanted me to also meet with them because theoretically I'm the most educated person in that room, but in some regards I'm not the most educated person in that room. So I say that because this person was trained on a specific reading program that is primarily used in primary grades, and I have not been trained on that. And this particular group is reading at a primary grades level, like kinder, first, second, if we're lucky. So that was how the bulk of the first trimester went, and a good portion of second trimester. And after looking at my iReady results, I feel like that's working because those kids made a very good amount of growth. They're all past the 50% mark. So I decided to try and switch the schedule to appease the person that suggested this. And now with these iReady results, I'm not sure that I want to keep the schedule because I feel like what we were doing, the aide and I, was working. So it might be one of those moments where, you know, I am the professional in my classroom. I do see how this is working and what's not. And I think the person's suggestion was, you know, I want you to meet with them as well, which I do, just in different situations. So we'll see how today goes and what is said and how I feel, but I might be making that executive decision to change it back to what I was originally doing because it was working. So, but that is today. We have a meeting after school and it's supposed to run until about 4:15. But I do have PE prep today, so I will try and check in with you at some point if I have something earth-shattering or important or groundbreaking to say. So I will talk to you guys later on. I'll talk to you then. Hey guys, it is my lunchtime. It is just before noon, and before I go any further, I don't know if the sweatshirt is still there, but I highly recommend this sweatshirt just because it's super comfortable. And for those of us that have bigger hips, what's nice about this is the sweatshirt does not like bunch at the waist, which then just makes your hips and butt look that much wider. And it's super soft. I don't know if I just said that, but It is lunchtime, and I wanted to show you this because I've been doing this for the past couple days to kind of go with the whole winter theme that I'm trying to start. So I think I mentioned this yesterday, or maybe not. So if this is the second time I'm saying it in 2 days, you just know I'm really enjoying it that much. But I've been playing, you know, one of the fireplace scenes from YouTube and playing this relaxing Christmas CD. So I'm gonna be quiet so you can hear it. So I don't know if you could hear it, but it's extremely relaxing and soothing music. It is almost like music you would play or hear in a spa. So I have been playing that while they are working on their lap books or working on their trapped in a snow globe writing. And then today I decided to play it while they were taking their math test, because the combination of those two things seemed to keep them extremely calm, and I like it. So I'm on lunch and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna leave that on because I like listening to it. But I wanted to share that. And then today during my prep, I had to spend the time making sure I decided what exactly I wanted to do for holiday and class activities as far as quote unquote parties, which I'm using that term very loosely. So next Wednesday, well, let me back up. So we're doing this whole holidays around the world thing, and I wanted to tie in a food component, and I was going back and forth on whether or not I wanted to do it. Peggy had already made a letter that she was gonna send to her parents kind of explaining it. She shared it with Jenny and I through Google, and I decided, you know what, the letter's already made. It's voluntary. It's not gonna be this big production, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that out there for my parents. So I made copies of that, put that in mailboxes today, and then made a sign-up genius for parents. And basically what we're asking them or letting them know is that we've been studying holidays around the world, and it would be great if each student can bring in like a little sampling of a dish or a dessert that their family traditionally eats either during the holidays or during any family gathering, or something that is just a family favorite. And it's just strictly voluntary, so I'm putting it on Sign Up Genius just so that I know how many people are planning to do it. And I did explain to them, it's just to tie in with the fact that we're trying to expose ourselves to different cultures in the process. So we'll see what happens with that. The good news is if nothing comes, it's no skin off my back. If something comes, then that's great. And then as far as the fun things for the kids, I'm gonna do what I've been doing for years. I just do a treat exchange, a white elephant treat exchange, where each student hopefully brings in a homemade or store-bought holiday themed treat for one student, and we do the whole white elephant exchange where they could steal and things like that. My room mom and I are also splitting the cost on some holiday themed donuts from Krispy Kreme. And then that day that we're going into break, which will be next Thursday, we will watch either Home Alone, Elf, or A Christmas Story. I'm gonna let the kids decide. So I'm sitting home permission slips to watch that movie today because it's rated PG, and they're gonna have hot chocolate, and no matter what, every kid will get a treat or two, because they'll at the very least have the donuts that we're providing, or they'll have the donut and the treat that they got from the white elephant treat exchange. So I got that squared away. I sent out a dojo with the Sign Up Genius link. I've been trying to grade and get things updated there, and that has pretty much been it. So I am getting ready to let me set you down for a second, and the lighting is horrible right here. Is it better here? Yeah, I'm gonna set you down for a second because I am going to be filing these into mailboxes. Wednesday is the day that I send home. This lighting is really bad. Wednesday, there we go. Wednesday is the day that I send home weekly folders, and in the weekly folders are Great at Work. Is that grammatically correct? In the weekly folder is Great at Work, school announcements, and things like that. So this is a flyer announcing that yearbooks are on sale, so I'm gonna put that in there. And then I'm gonna eat my lunch and relax for a minute. So I will check in with you guys later on today. Hi guys, it's 5:05. I'm probably one of the last people left here. Well, our staff meeting ended at 4:15-ish. It was good. It was stuff I had heard before, but you know when you're in a staff meeting and you're just exhausted and you really can't process all the information or provide any sort of intellectual contribution to a conversation, that's kind of where I was at. So we just looked at our iReady data, and talked about the things that we felt were successful and some things that maybe we want to work on as a grade level. And then I came back to my room. I had to make some copies for math tomorrow. We finished chapter 6. I'm not going to start chapter 7 because we will only get a few lessons in and then go on winter break, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to be doing one of these critical area projects if you're in Go Math. So this is critical area project number 1, and it just reviews several different skills that they have learned up until this point. So I'm going to do that because I also need to have something relevant for my Kagan observation, excuse me, that is going to be on Friday. And when I do that, I don't like for it to just be a Kagan structure that is randomly occurring. I like for it to make sense with what I need to do in the classroom, and so that's what I chose. I'm going to be trying a strategy called Numbered Heads Together. We're gonna do it for the first time tomorrow so they can kind of get a feel for it, and then do it again for the second half of the assignment on Friday. So wish me luck with that. As far as the rest of my day, you know what? My takeaway from the day is sometimes as a teacher, you just can't fathom that your name could be called as many times as it is being called in such a short span of time. And that pretty much sums up my afternoon. I promise you, my name had to have been called, or a question had to have been asked of me near 100 times in the course of like an hour. That may be an exaggeration, but that's what it felt like. They were writing their stories and they're asking questions, and they're not questions like things that I need to teach them. They're just questions like, can I get a piece of paper to start my story? And I'm like, I wish you would get a piece of paper to start your story. Or can I start my story this way? And that's the part of teaching younger kids that I have to adjust to still, because I just eventually have to say, this is your rough draft. So just start your story in the way that you want to start it, write it the way that you want, and then read through it. And then when we peer edit and go through that together, that'll be the time that we actually tweak it, or I give you some suggestions. So just that reassurance that they seem to like crave and want, it's still something I'm not totally adjusted to, if I were to be totally honest. A couple of kids thought they were done with their stories like that, and then I read that story and asked them, can you please tell me what the problem of the story is? And some of them said, it doesn't really have a problem. So I said, then it's not a story. And then some of them I said, what is the solution? And they had no solution. So again, I said, you got to go work on that. So we had that. So it doesn't go smooth for everybody. You still have kids that kind of want to rush through it, and the stories were a little on the scant side, I would say. So that was my afternoon. Right now I am resentful of this. I'm going to show you this. I'm resentful of this. This is a stack of papers that I still need to grade. One of the things in here is the math test that they took today. That in and of itself will take me a couple of hours to grade, because that is something I still grade on paper, because I like to write notes and I like to see exactly what the kids are doing on scratch paper. And I need to grade their last wonders assessment, and I'm just resentful because it's like as soon as I get through a pile of grading, just another pile forms, and these are things that really do need to be graded. I don't grade every single thing because that would be ridiculous, and just resentful of how much time it takes away from me relaxing, because I literally am just exhausted. So I'm gonna go home, walk my dogs. My priority is probably going to be to get their last wonders assessment graded, because I'm a little behind on getting that done. And I think that's it. I feel like there was something I was gonna tell you. Oh, I know what it is. So there's all that, and that happened today, and it was a rough afternoon, if I were to be totally honest. But the bright spot of my day is it started with this. I got this from a student. She knocked on the door and just said, "Good morning, Miss Robinson, this is for you." And it made me feel special. So there was that today. So, oh, and I did show the little video. We talked about Diwali today. I just typed on YouTube videos about Diwali for kids, and it was like this little cartoon. It was about 5 minutes, and they kind of talked about Diwali. the kids and the characters in the cartoon did have an accent, and so every now and then, even for me, it was hard to totally know what they were saying. But because I had watched it before, I prefaced the video with the kids and said, now this video, the kids and the families are from India, so they do have an accent, so there may be some words that are harder for you to understand, but just reminding them that it's definitely not appropriate to laugh at someone because they have an accent that is different from yours. Because I know if I had not said that, I'm pretty sure I have some kids that would have done that, and I just find that to just be inappropriate and something that kids should know that that's not okay. So we watched the video, and then I read them this book that I found on Amazon, and I need to be better about like remembering to link these things. But with Vlogmas, you guys, it's a miracle that I'm even getting videos edited and uploaded on a semi-daily basis. So but if you ask me in the comments and I forget to do something, typically I'll do it either in the description box or I'll link it directly to your comment. But I found this on YouTube. It's called Let's Celebrate 5 Days of Diwali. And my impression of this is a series. And I think these two characters, Maya and Neil, are in this series that maybe is teaching specifically about Indian culture. But at the bottom of the book, it's from a company called Culture Groove, and it says raise multicultural children. And on the back, it just shows some other books that they have available. So I don't know if they're just books about the Indian culture, or this is just like one segment of the type of books that this company produces. So we talked about Diwali today. They worked on their paper from Japan, which was what we talked about yesterday. So I don't know if I made it clear, but on the days where we're not doing the actual part of a flip book, then I try and read a story from a culture that was not included in the lap book so that they're getting as much exposure as possible. So that's that. And then as far as the holiday activities, I've checked my Sign Up Genius. So far I have 3 parents bringing in something, so that's something. So I'm gonna finish packing up my bag here, turn out all the lights, go home. I might get an egg roll to go with my dinner from last night. Go home and get to grading, because that's what needs to happen. So I will probably be talking to you guys tomorrow, so I will see you then. All right, good morning. Here's my outfit today. Today I'm wearing an outfit that I did not plan to wear. This was a last minute decision. I'm wearing some jeans from Nordstrom Rack, this cream colored top that is just from, I don't know, Target or Old Navy, and then this jacket that I got from Ann Taylor Loft a little while ago. This was one of the jackets I wasn't quite sure about, but I decided to keep it. And then the scarf that has some birds on it. This is from Charming Charlie and is also old. I'm wearing my brown frames today, and then these booties that you guys have seen from DSW. So I'm going to get some Starbucks because it is very necessary, and I will talk to you guys later. Are you guys saying the same thing?
Yeah, we said the same thing. 24. I made, let's say equal groups. Made 4 equals.
Okay, we all have the same groups. No. We agreed. Yeah, we all pretty much have the same answer. We all have the same
So you have,
answer.
oh, I didn't take the time. You have about 2 minutes to get your answer written down.
Boxes of games because we drew. Let's see, 4 groups. Of 6. You're in the wrong clothes. I know. It's the only shirt.
Are you guys done writing your answer?
Yep. Yes.
Have you read through it to make sure it makes sense?
Nope. First, I could add 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6, and that equals 24. Or you can just multiply 4 times 6, and that equals 24. Or draw equal groups. Or you can or draw equal groups, and that's my point. Or you can draw equal.
Table 5, are you guys done?
Yeah.
Table 6, are you guys done?
You see the Raiders?
Can we not talk about the Raiders in a minute? Table number 4, are you done? Table 3, you're done?
Yeah.
Table 2, are you done? Table 1, are you done?
Yes.
If you're not done, you have about 2 minutes. Hi guys, it's 12:28 on Friday, and I don't even recall if I vlogged yesterday, but I said let me try and squeeze in 2 minutes worth of a check-in because I've been a bad vlogger or a bad vlogmasser. I have not uploaded the footage from earlier this week yet because it has just been busy over here in room F3 in Southern California, and I've had to like prioritize. Like there's some grading I need to get done, so everything is like squared away before I go to break. I will upload it. It'll just be several days worth of Vlogmas chunked into one, and that's the plan. But I wanted to check in with you. Right now I'm in my room. I just finished my lunch. I'd show you my salad, but I just threw it away. I'm also taking some time to watch a YouTube video while I eat it. This is a vlogger that I watch. Her name is Elle Florence. I think I've mentioned her before. She is a lawyer in Canada, and her and I are somewhat two different types of people. But I just enjoy watching her vlogs. I think because she shops a lot, so I like looking at her clothes, but she shops much more high-end than I do or probably ever will be able to. So maybe I'm living vicariously through her. And she's a career woman. I think that's kind of what I like watching. So she's about 30 years old, I think. I will say if you watch her, there are times where she's a bit much for me. We're just two different people is all I say. She seems sweet, but so I'm doing that. And then earlier today I had my Kagan observation. We did numbered heads together. I will try and explain exactly what that is and show you the slide that I used after school today. It went pretty well. There was a moment where I was a little concerned because they were working on a problem where they had to take information from a tally chart and create a picture graph from it, and well, not all of them. Some of them had completely forgotten what that even meant. They were just taking the tally chart and then recreating the tally chart in the workspace they were given to make their picture graph. So we had to have a macaroni and cheese it moment, which means we need to stop and kind of regroup. And so I decided to push that problem to the side because that's clearly a problem we're gonna have to review together, so that when my Kagan observation was going on, they were able to work with the problem that was a little bit more straightforward, and the amount of confusion and me relying on them remembering something was a little less. Overall, the observation went well. We get these feedback sheets from our Kagan coach. So for every structure, there is a checklist that you can print out to make sure you're actually doing the structure correctly. So we just print one out, clip it to the door. The person that's observing us grabs it and just makes notes on it as they're watching. And then I think all of us that were observed today debrief after school. So once we got into the swing of things with having a problem that they were more comfortable and confident in, things went pretty well. So I felt good about it. So lunch is now over. I'm going to go pick up my kids. We are going to go to the library, and then I think for the rest of the day I'm gonna have them work on their trapped in a snow globe writing, and I'm gonna try and take the pictures I need to take of them for the snow globe. So that's where I'm at. You'll see this soon. I just don't know when, but I just want to check in and say hello. Also, I want to give a shout out to, I think her Instagram name, I need to hurry up because I'm going to be late picking up my kids. Her Instagram name is Spilling the Tea with Reese. I know she watches every once in a while, but if you're watching, you and I were the same person. It's too bad we don't teach in the same state. So we were just talking about a couple things through Instagram, and it just sounds like She's my long lost sister somewhere. So let me go pick up my kids so I don't get in trouble, but I will be sure to talk to you later on today. So I'll talk to you. Good evening, you guys. The lighting's pretty bad because I'm kind of in my dining room area and I don't have the overhead lamp on, but I need to close this vlog. Now, as far as my vlogging skills for the day, I didn't vlog much. I checked in with you at lunch. Oh, I didn't tell you about numbered heads together. Let me see if I can do that as I close the blinds. So basically, numbered heads together, I'm gonna mute the TV, is a Kagan structure that you can use for a variety of things. I chose to use it for like a performance task activity in math, where it was a series of word problems that reviewed different skills that they had learned throughout the school year. And hopefully I can kind of explain this the right way. If anybody's watching this and they're a Kagan expert and I mess something up, my apologies. So you start off by posing a question of some sort. So for me, the question was the question that was just on the assignment itself. You give the kids some think time to think on their own what they think the answer is. So it should be pretty silent. After that think time, you need to number your students off 1 through 4. I don't have to do that because my kids are already in groups of 4 and they already have seat numbers. So everybody already knows who the number 1 is, who the number 2 is, and so on. I guess I better just sit down. And then, oh, actually, no, let me back up. So you give them think time, scratch that. You give them think time on their own and they're solving this problem on their own. Then you, this wasn't in the structure, but I decided to time it because some kids would go on and on and on. So I needed them to know that there was a time limit to their think time and their solving. And after that time's up, I gave them 4 minutes. You say, okay, heads together, bottoms up. Which basically just tells them that they're gonna kind of stand up in a way, like lean into their desk and they're gonna huddle. And if they're huddling correctly, their heads will be together and their bottoms will be up to some extent. And then during this time, they should be coming to a consensus on the question that they answered. And I believe I took vlog footage of this yesterday, so if I did, I will include it after this clip or in this clip or something. So they come to a consensus. One person is, what I chose to do is have one person write down what their answer is, and that person was the table captain, because I have a table captain every day in my class. And then I also timed that, so I gave them a specific amount of time to come to a consensus, because I have some groups that if I didn't give them a time limit, they would just spend all their time arguing over who's more right than the other. So I gave them, again, 4 minutes. And then at the end of the 4 minutes, you pick a random number between 1 and 4. I used Alexa, and she chose the number. And then each person that is that seat number in each table group stands up, shares their answer. And you don't tell them if they're right or wrong, or at least I chose not to tell them if they were right or wrong until we got through every table group sharing their answer. And at the end, I either said, okay, great, everybody's right, or I would say, okay, these tables were right, these tables had some issues. And luckily, most tables were right to some degree. There was just maybe something that they were missing. And then when the whole class was right, we gave ourselves a classroom cheer. And then if the whole class wasn't right, you still wanted to give them time to cheer themselves as a team for working together. And that's pretty much the gist of how it works. I don't think I left anything out. So I liked it. It's probably a structure. I think I said this also yesterday. I really don't know what I did or vlogged yesterday that I would probably use, I want to use more often. Maybe I said that to my teammate Peggy. But it went really well. The only suggestion that the district Kagan coach gave me is during that think time, just making sure they know how to work out the problem while covering their answers, because some kids are kind of wandering their eyes to their neighbor. So that's an easy fix. But that was pretty much my day. They had PE in the morning. They did numbered heads together and worked on that math assignment that we had started yesterday. We had library, and then all the time in between they were working on either peer editing, trapped in a snow globe. So what I had them do today is all kids are done with their rough draft. And today, I really should have vlogged this at school to show you these forms. Today I gave them a form that I got for free off of Teachers Pay Teachers, so maybe if I'm good I'll remember to link it. Where they were just peer editing to make sure the stories they read had at least the story elements. So they really wanted to focus on, like, what if the word's misspelled or not capitalized? And I said, right now, you're just focusing on whether or not the stories have the story elements, and we'll focus on that at another time. So we did that, and then the other times that we had in between all the activities, so we, like library and whatever, they worked on their holidays around the world book. So we did Australia yesterday. But I read a book about Hanukkah because I didn't have any books that were about the holidays that were specific to Australia. So, yeah, that was pretty much the day. And then after school, I went and spent some time with some friends, and I got back from that after 7. So here's what I'm going to decide to do this Friday. I just got back from Starbucks. Yes, in the evening, which I think is risky, but I did it on purpose because I kind of want to stay up a little bit later and hopefully get all this Vlogmas footage uploaded into one video. I need to put the final touches on a Secret Santa video that's coming out this weekend and make sure I have everything set for that, as well as a Teachers Connect video that I am participating in along with some other teachers, which Riley, she's trying to eat Genesis food. A Teachers Connect video that several other teachers on YouTube are participating in, and that will be going out tomorrow. So there will be no Teachers Connect questions this week because that video is kind of taking the form of what I normally do. There's Riley, everybody. Of what I normally do on Teachers Connect each week. So that is where I'm at. Vlogmas, I'm not gonna lie, I did have a moment this weekend, or this week, where I was sitting on the couch just stuffing gummy bears in my mouth, really questioning why I thought doing this was a good idea. It's not that it's not fun, it's just it's a lot of work. So that's why it's been delayed. I just was either extremely busy, extremely tired, or a combination of the two. So I'm gonna try my best to keep it up until Christmas, but I also have told myself if it gets to the point where it's too much, it's okay to take a break because that's what you gotta do. So we're gonna be working. Riley, wanna say hi to your friends? Say hi, Riley. Is he coming up? Look at him. This is my mom's dog. She got for free at Target. Now he's showing you his butt. Genesis? Let's see if Genesis will say hello to you guys. Come on. Up. Come here. Stop, Riley. Come on. Come on. Up. Up. Come on. Come on. Jenny, come on. Okay. There's Genesis. She is doing okay. She's still on antibiotics. That just might be the way that it is. I found out that what she has is pretty common in small dogs of her breed. So, but overall, she's doing fine. The two of them get along, if you wonder. Riley can be a little aggressive. Case in point right there. He's trying to force her to play. She does not want to play, but she handles it. And if she doesn't like it long enough, she'll let him know. So they're fine right there. Yep. She's Riley. Nobody wants that right now. So anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna relax, work as long as I can until I fall asleep, and then I will try and check in with you guys tomorrow. So I'll see you then. Have a good night. Talk to you later. Bye. Say bye, guys. Jenny? No? Bye, guys.